Okay, so people see me sleeping, just sitting straight up on a bench. Someone bought me a blanket. I didn't even know they had brought me a blanket. They could have robbed me because I didn't even see them put the blanket and a pair of socks. I put the socks on, and people came and brought me money. I didn't even count. I got more money. Not a lot, not enough to get a room or anything, but not that I would spend it on a room anyway. A white man came and gave me $20. A black man came and gave me $16. And he bought me some McDonald's. He bought me a chicken biscuit, a hash brown, and some orange juice. And I got this blanket, and I just wanted to say that I was starting to work on the evidence, the part two to my evidence, and they they're doing something to my Google Photos. And they have been knocking me out of my Google Photos. When I was doing the evidence, they would knock me out of the Google Photos, showing me raising my son. And my son is with Cynthia Overa. The email account that is associated with my Google Photos, first of all, anybody can hack that. When the government is involved, when they're allowing me to be denied medical care and I'm pregnant out here, when they allowed them to try to murder me before my trial in the jail, when they allowed them to try to poison us in the back of the jail, they can do anything to try to keep you from getting your child or standing up for yourself. And they tried to erase photos of me with my newborn baby. That is so evil. To go into my account and Cynthia, I used to allow Cynthia to have information to all of my things, to everything, because she was his grandmother and I was always busy with my son, that I wasn't even watching what I was allowing her to have access to. But God, He still made a way. But it's showing me that you will go so far to go into my personal Google Photos of me and my child and try to delete precious memories. First of all, they deleted 6 months of pictures of me and my son from before Austin got out of prison. My son had hair. He was running around talking, and they deleted 6 months of those videos and pictures out of my iPhone, locked my iPhone, and refused to unlock my iPhone, and then erased all of those. But I still had thousands of photos of me and my child. And I'm sitting here without my child because people wanted to steal him. I could never get pregnant before I gave birth to my son. I had to watch other women walk around with their kids all my life because they were having kids young, 14, 15. I didn't want a kid then, but when I got older, I couldn't have kids. My sisters and cousins had children and wouldn't even invite me to baby showers because they felt like I would be jealous, because they felt like, oh, we didn't even think you could even get pregnant. And that was so mean. So I was not invited to baby showers. I wasn't invited to birthday parties, because people felt like, oh, well, she can't get pregnant, I don't want to make her feel bad because I'm having a new baby. And God, He gave me a son in a vision after my mother died, when I got my inheritance. And when I moved to the Woodlands, I was crying and looking out the window and seeing all these white women running around with their little babies. And I was crying to God. And I said, I will give anything. I was like, I will give up all of my wealth, all of my material things, if you would just give me a child. And I believe I was like 25 or 26 years old when I gave birth to Melbourne. Most women already had 2, 3. I know a girl right now who got 4 kids and she's just turned 25. So just imagine how I felt, unable to get pregnant. All the men in my life that I was with, my husband, when I was 22, we only stayed married 9 months. I could not give him a child. And men that I loved, that I was with a man since I was 17 years old. And he ran off and got another woman pregnant when I was 19. So it hurt me not to be able to get pregnant, but I wanted to see a part of myself. And I was being racially profiled in the area. I was a young black woman with money in Magnolia, Texas, in a very rich, Montgomery County, Texas is one of the richest counties in Texas. And to be a young black woman with money and wealth, they profiled me a lot. And I was all by myself because I didn't have no family. And I did end up giving up everything. I helped people until I didn't have nothing left to give. People sucked every dime out of me. And I was on the streets. And I had to go and live in Conroe, Texas, and be being beat up by Austin Metter, my baby daddy. And we got an apartment together. Y'all know the story about him catching the cases and everything for abusing me there. And after he caught his first charge for abusing me, he came home and I got pregnant. But I didn't have, I still had my furniture out of my apartment, but by the time I gave birth to Melbourne, I didn't even have that no more. I had moved into 1308 Houston Street, the 2-bedroom. Austin had called more charges and was back in the county for abusing me. And he was in all kind of trouble, but I was in a new 2-bedroom apartment, empty. I didn't have an air mattress. I didn't have no furniture. I didn't have nothing but an army fatigue jacket that Joe, his daddy, used to go hunting in. And I had to sleep with that jacket and then walk to Walmart and get a little twin size air mattress. And Austin was in jail and I was working. And I was doing it all by myself. And I was bleeding. And then I had to put myself on bed rest because they was trying to force me to keep working even after the emergency room said I could have a miscarriage with him. And Cynthia was trying to force me to get up and go continue to work at Taco Bell. And I had slipped and fallen, mopping floors late at night. And I was working doubles, all kind of stuff. And I was bleeding. And she didn't care and nobody cared. And I had to lock everybody outside because when I went to the emergency room, they still found his heartbeat. And he was 16 weeks. So his heart was very small. And I went back to work when I was 5 months. And I hurt myself lifting old people out of wheelchairs in a nursing home, working in a nursing home my first day. And then the white woman told me she would not give me light duty. She would not ask anybody to come and help me lift the patients. They could not walk. You had to pick them up and put them on the bed. Pick them up, put them in the wheelchair. These are big, grown, old people. And she would not allow a 5-month pregnant woman to have someone to assist me putting them down in the living room, putting them down in their wheelchairs, putting them in their chairs for lunch. Like, how evil could you be? I could not. My doctor said it'll be best. After I went to the hospital after that, he was like, it'll be best for you to just not work. He was like, you could try to get a back brace or whatever, but it'll be best for you to just not work the rest of this pregnancy. And Austin got out when I was 6 months. He got out of the county and continued to abuse me in my apartment. This time it was mine. He was not on the lease. And he put me in the hospital 3 times. And I didn't know if my baby was alive. And he was there when I gave birth to Melbourne. After he got us banned from the Woodlands Hospital for trying to attack me in the labor and delivery unit. He was attacking me in the apartment while I was going into labor. And my dad had to jump in and fight him. And my dad is paralyzed on one side of his body. And that's what I was finna almost have to stab him. And when Melbourne was born, he almost died. He could not breathe. And I knew when Austin was abusing me, he was moving different. Like, he'll start moving different, and my stomach was hurting, all kind of pains. He was hurting the baby in my stomach. A big old 9-month fetus, he was hurting in my stomach, picking me up by my stomach. And I brought my baby home. I was probably 25, 26. So I was grown. I was a big girl with a little newborn. You know, see, a lot of girls, they having babies when they 18, younger than that. So to see a woman having her first, I was responsible. As far as how I took care of my child, I was very responsible. I was grown. So I knew how to care for a little one, And Cynthia and Joe, they never did nothing for him. See, nobody want nothing to do with your baby when they that small. Oh, when they gotta change diapers and get up at 3, he wouldn't even let me put him down. And by the time he was 10 months old, when he did start letting me put him down, he still woke up every 30-minute hour, couple of hours. And I always got up with my baby. I never let him cry it out. I never let my baby scream and cry. I was always there for him and prepared. And to see someone try to go into my accounts and try to erase pictures of me taking care of my newborn just so people can't see that you done abducted somebody's child because your son was abusing us. I already said they could take my life because they already tried to do it when they locked me up for protecting myself when he got out of prison. Because he went to prison when Melbourne was only 5 or 6 weeks old for being abusive towards us and abusing me in the house. But they charged him with a probation violation. And when he got out of prison, they gave him 2 years. Melbourne, he did 19 months because they gave him back time for all the other times that he was in the county for abusing me. And when he got out of prison, my son was 2 months away from being 2 years old. That's a whole lot of time that he was not there. And he only spent the night with Joseph and Cynthia Olvera one time. Out of that whole 2 years, one time did he spend the night with his grandmama and them. And he had a diaper rash so damn bad that I took him to Texas Children's and I wanted them to do an examination on my baby. And they said I would have to file a police report. And I was like, no, I don't want to file a police report because I don't want them to feel like I'm accusing them of anything. I'm just asking y'all to please examine him because I don't allow him to look like that down there. And after that, I was like, okay, as a new mother, I was like, you know, I'm never letting my baby ever have no diaper rash like that. I'm never allowing Cynthia or Joseph Olvera to ever watch him again. And when I started working, when Melbourne was like 8, 9 months old, his daddy was in jail. He was in prison. And I started back working. And Cynthia, before he had got approved for NCIS, Cynthia had this Hispanic girl and her man watching him for a day, and Joseph was supposed to go and she was saying she was gonna go pick him up from this Hispanic in them girl house. But when I got off of work, Joseph had my baby at the house by himself at Cynthia Olvera's house, at their house. And I was like uncomfortable with that because I gave Cynthia permission to pick up my baby. I did not give Joseph Olvera. She was like, oh, his grandpa coming. I'm like, man, I don't feel comfortable with Joseph Olvera being in the house with my 9-month-old baby. My 8, 9-month-old baby by himself. I just because you help me out with some bill, I don't know you. I don't care if you pay some rent or not. You a grown man. And that is not your child. And I wasn't rude, but I came and picked him up, and I felt very uncomfortable when I had got out of work that I almost quit. I was like, I don't just leave my baby with grown men. I don't even leave him by himself with his daddy. I do not. Joseph did not raise Austin as a newborn. Johnny did. And Cynthia was wrong for leaving Austin at home with Johnny all by himself. She don't know what that man could have been doing to Austin. And I know he loved Johnny and everything, but he was a child. Just like my baby loved Joe. He is a child. And then when he got home, he was smelling like, I hate to say, he was smelling like ass. I was like, hold on, this is a newborn baby. When I sent him to Cynthia in the Hispanic girl house when he was 8, 9 months old, he smelled like a baby. You know, baby lotion and all of that. So why the hell I'm picking him up from Joseph at Cynthia's house after I get off of work, just starting to work, and he smelled like ass. And I done went the hell off. And I went to the Hispanic girl house to see what's going on, why my baby smell like ass. And turns out all her kids smell like ass. Her house was nasty, you know, and that was just the smell of her children and her house. It was filthy. It was a little trailer and it was so disgusting. She had holes all in the floor. It was disgusting. Her children were so filthy. They were so dirty. It was so nasty. And Cynthia was paying this woman $60 a day to watch my child. That was more than I was getting paid a day. So you rather pay some Hispanic woman all this money to keep my baby, but you wouldn't let me keep my own child until he was old enough? But I just got him enrolled in the NCIS. I hurried up and I was crying when the lady did not approve me at first because I was finna quit. Ain't no way my baby finna be over there smelling like ass with holes all in the floor with people that don't care about their own damn kids I don't care if they're still alive and they making it. No, children should be taken care of to a certain standard and degree, and they should not smell, and they should not be dirty, and they should not be around things where they could get hurt. And he was just 8-9 months. So when the lady approved me for the NCIS, I was like, okay, cool. And guess what? I got pictures of what they let happen to my baby. He was only 9 months old, 8 or 9 months old. And they let my baby fall down and bust his eyelid open right here. He had a big old slit. And then they called me talking about, can you come and get your baby so that he can go to the emergency room. Right after I dropped him off. I didn't even hit the highway before I got a call saying, oh, can you come back and get him? He might need to go to the emergency room. I'm like, what? And I just hurried up and came back, and then she was like, oh, do you want to see the camera or what happened? No, just let me take him. Just give me my baby. And then they would not take him at the first clinic we went to. Emergency hospital we went to, talking about they don't take Medicaid. So now I got to drive an 8-9 month old baby all over town to see who going to take some Medicaid. Finally, we found somewhere in Montgomery County, Texas, that'll take him on, I think it was around 1488 or somewhere. I'm not exactly sure. And I took him in there, and he had to get liquid stitches because he was too little to get any other type of stitch. And they wasn't taking care of the stitch. He was still breastfed. I was still nursing him. And, he was not wanting to eat what they was trying to give him, So it's like, damn, and I got to make sure he's eating. Y'all can't have him up there all day talking about he won't eat. He's a baby. You got to make him eat. And if y'all can't handle it, then just send him home to his mama. I will make sure that he eats. My baby never got hurt with me. Not one time. You can make every excuse. Oh, babies get hurt. To hell with that. He ain't never got hurt with me. And I had to realize, and God even let me know, no, Andrea is right. Babies don't just get hurt like that. He 8-9 months old. You got to watch his every move. You got to be right there to hold his hand when he trying to stand up. You got to be right there to catch him when he fall. And she had too many infants. I looked up the law, and she was not supposed to have that many infants in there by herself. And that's how he got hurt. Because she was too busy tending to somebody else's children. Did to watch out the mine. And I was just like, you know what? When I seen a little Hispanic girl with a big old bruise in the middle of her forehead the next day, I was like, man, I'm not finna do this. She could have got a concussion. These are children that y'all letting get hurt. And this was at Magnolia, one of the little daycares out there. It is supposed to be some prestige academy, and y'all up here letting kids get hurt, man. And so I was like, you know what? I worked, a couple of jobs, but I was like, I'm going to just go on ahead and watch him until he at least 2 years old, because they making excuses for allowing my child to get hurt. And you don't do nothing like that. My baby never got hurt with me, ever. Not a drop of blood left his body. Not a drop of blood left his body. Not one cut, not one abrasion on his skin. Not once. With his mama. Because I care. And because I ain't going to let him get hurt. It's your job. You the adult. You the responsible one. It's your fault if a baby get hurt. It's your fault. Now, I understand when they get older and they start running around and falling down and hurting their knee, but he was 8-9 months old. There is no excuse for that. He ain't even walking. He at the age where somebody should still be holding him and watching him like that. And when I took him out of daycare, he never got hurt with me. Never. The stitches had to heal. I took good care of the stitches. They was letting them pick all at his eye. You know, I don't let him do that. His stitch healed up just fine with me. Because that's my child. That's my responsibility. So I took that. And whatever came with anybody wanting to talk down on me, talking about, oh, you ain't got no money, you a bum bitch. Well, I was a good mother. That's one thing I can say. And that's one thing as a mother that we all have a job to do. Our first job is you to be a mother to your kids first. Even if that means you got to make another way to survive and for y'all to have the means and necessities that y'all need. I don't give a damn. Your child come first. His safety come first. And if other people is letting them get hurt like that, then you got to make a sacrifice and be like, okay, I'll be broke. You can talk down on me. I trusted my God to provide a way, and he did. And my baby did never get hurt after that. Only time he ended up falling down was when his daddy got out of prison. And Austin wanted to let him just run around all free when I was working out trying to lose some baby weight. And I was trying to tell Austin, you gotta hold his hand, like you gotta be careful. And he wasn't listening, and he let him fall down, and he still didn't bleed. But that was like the only time that he even fell down like that without me being right there to catch him. I'm his mother. That's what a mama is there for. To catch you when you fall. To hold you up. I taught him how to walk. I taught him how to read and talk at the beginning stages. I taught him everything. And I didn't never let my baby get hurt. And I feel very serious about Austin sitting over there attacking him like that. He was a baby. And that's what the whole gun shooting, that's what everything was about. He was attacking my little boy. And then they over here trying to erase photos of me with my newborn, showing that I took care of him all while his daddy was in prison, that his daddy got out of prison and was hurting us. He was only out of prison for 8 weeks before the shooting. And the entire relationship, he been abusing me way before I got pregnant. Before I got pregnant with Melbourne, all while I was pregnant with Melbourne, after I had Melbourne, when he got out of prison, Cynthia had protective orders on him. He was abusing all of us. He was abusing me, his daddy, Joseph, his mama, Cynthia. He was abusing me and the baby. And the police didn't want to help us. Because they felt like a young black mother should not have no financial assistance from his white family and that he should have the apartment. But Cynthia, that was my apartment. And Cynthia was over there begging me not to put him on child support. And the state was saying that was the only way they would help me when I had a part-time job was to file to put Austin on child support. They was like they wasn't going to help me unless I filed to put him on child support first. And then when I told Cynthia that I'm trying to get independent, Cynthia, I don't want to be dependent upon you and Joseph for my bills or anything, but I got a small child, I'm working a part-time job, I need some help. And the state said they will help us to where y'all ain't got to be paying my rent or doing nothing for me, because I got a part-time job, but I have to file to put Austin on child support, and he was in prison. And the state was like, that's the perfect time to go on ahead and do it, because we know where he at, can take him on the court, whatever, because they like to run. And it wasn't to be malicious, and it wasn't to be mean, but he was not doing nothing for Melbourne. And his mama and daddy was the ones trying to pay money, and I'm like, and then they want to turn around and complain and make it seem like I'm living off of them, and they wouldn't even let my baby come and stay the night with them when he was young, newborn, and I needed help. Like, hey, can you watch him for a night? Oh no, I'm busy, I'm working from home, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Didn't nobody want to keep him all them nights where he's screaming and hollering and crying. And then when he got older and I let him go stay over there, he had a horrible diaper rash. And after that I was like, it's okay, I just won't let nobody watch my baby. And I don't like people watching my child. I do not. Because people like to take advantage of children, and they don't take care of them the way you do. They done cut my baby hair off. My baby had hair all on down his back. They done cut off his hair. They had his eyes glued to a little computer screen with dark rings around his eyes. My baby screamed for me for 4 months when they arrested me. And what was Austin doing? He was attacking them. And there was a witness that was trying to help us while he was over there being violent being stupid with my baby. And I ain't finna go into all of that because that's part of the evidence. That's more. I gotta go more into detail about what he was actually doing, where this all took place. Because they tried to lie about every detail and say that he never attacked us. They said he never attacked us. And then they just tried to murder me just to cover it all up. And then trying to go in my Google Photos and trying to delete valuable pictures of me and my child. He in my arms every single day. And why would someone try to delete those pictures? Everybody know I'm his mother. Everybody know I raised him. Until the day that I had to protect him. So why would anybody try to erase all my photos that I have with my child to make it seem like I never even had a child? Because they wrong. And you do not play with nobody's kids. You don't do that. I don't know too many people that's gonna sit there and be letting you punch on their baby, man. I don't know too many people that just gonna sit there and watch you kill their baby. I don't. Now all that beating up on me, he got away with. But sitting there trying to beat up on a child? I asked him to stop beating on my baby. I told him, I warned him, and I tried to get him